Over the course of the past 10 years, I've gone from a skinny, ectomorph style physique, one that I was not really too impressed with, to the point of building a solid aesthetic physique that I'm now very, very proud of, and I walk around this earth a confident individual, so much so that this is now my full-time pursuit with the Gorilla Platoon, where we've helped 60 guys to be able to achieve such transformations and build the aesthetic body that they truly desire. What I've done is I've consolidated this into 11 points. This is going back over the 10 years of experience I've got, the mistakes I've made, and really the shortcuts, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Let's get straight into it. The first mistake that I see people making is they will make the mistake saying, it takes too long. And I've got friends back home like this, like they never even start because they're like 20% body fat, low muscle, and like from where they are to building the aesthetic physique just seems like an absolute like mammoth of a task away. So they never even start. The message to you here is, yeah, sure, it's not going to be done overnight. Yeah, it does take a long time. But if you don't start today, it's never going to happen at all. So like you can think, I'm not going to do it because like, you know, it takes so long. But like, honestly, the quicker you start, the quicker you're going to see results. And if you go back through my channel, like there's a video on each result we've been able to achieve. A lot of the results you see in the time frame we've been able to achieve, 12, 16, 20, 30 weeks, you'd bite my hand off to achieve such a result in a certain amount of time. If I told you this is guaranteed in this many weeks, if you follow what I say, this is the result you're going to get, you would do it. It's just the uncertainty. That's why people never start, because they don't know what they're capable of achieving. They actually don't even know their potential in which they could achieve in such a short time frame. And what I will say on the results that we've got, like, they are going to be the biggest impact and change on your physique and then ultimately your life. Because going from like good physique, good amount of muscle, to adding another 2 to 3 kilos, yeah, it's great. Sure, you look bigger the next time you cut down. Great, absolutely. However, going from 20% body fat, low muscle, no abs, to having 6-pack abs and a little bit of muscle, that is the biggest contrast you will face when you try and develop your physique. So it's going to bring you arguably the most amount of happiness. It's going to take you the furthest away from pain to a point where you're proud of your physique and you actually look better than half of the average population, which then ultimately is going to make your life a lot better. So the first and the hardest bit is just starting, but it actually yields the greatest rewards for you. So yeah, don't expect the results overnight, but honestly, if you don't start, don't expect them at all, because you're just simply not going to get them. The second point is, if you're fat, you need to cut first. Let's put it bluntly like that. Even if you're skinny fat, you need to cut the body fat first and foremost. Sure, you need to build muscle, absolutely. But the reason I'm telling you to cut first is really to prime you ready to go and build muscle. The reason why, let's say you're 18, 19 or 20% body fat. Pretty fat, like obviously not compared to obese terms in the general population, but by the standards of like developing your physique in the gym, and to be fair, by the standards that women probably hold us to, like fat, right? So if you are at that stage and then you try and go into a muscle building phase first, what will happen is if you keep eating in a surplus, your body has a immediate action drill of what to do with that food. It's what it's always done, which is store it as body fat. So therefore, it's not going to be productive. You're not productive or efficient at using extra carbohydrates to drive performance in the gym, because you're unresponsive to the way insulin's going to work within your body, that it's pointless eating in a surplus anyway. Now, I know you may be small and skinny and you want to build muscle, and I am absolutely with you on that 100%. However, in that first recomp phase, you can still build some muscle. And your metric to understand if you have done so is your data from the numbers in the gym. If you're progressing from your numbers in the gym, then you will be building muscle. It will not be as visible and obvious as you would like it to be, but you are actually building muscle. So if you are in this case of 17 or above % body fat, go and do a body recomposition and cut down first. Like any of the results you see on this channel, like you could probably find someone that looks like you, and then the result that we've got at the end, and understand the time frame and how we've got there. But don't try and bulk if you're 17% body fat. And the other reason I'll say this, if you're 17% body fat and you start accruing body fat, which you're going to in a calorie surplus, you're just going to get fatter and fatter and fatter. And unless you've got very, very good mental strength, you're just going to get to the point where you're so uncomfortable in your own skin, you'll cut anyway. So just do yourself the favor, cut early first, get to 10%, give yourself a massive long headway, in order to then get in good solid shape and give yourself that bulk, the longevity you actually needed. The third thing is you will need 3 bulks realistically to get the physique that you want. That's just going off my own experience, where I've done 3 bulks. I've gone from around 69 kilograms. I'm now 78, just as lean in both photos. And that's the muscle difference I've been able to achieve across 3 bulks, which is quite nice. But even now, to be fair, as I look at my physique, I can't wait to rub my hands together come August, September time and go back into another bulk of all bulks with all the new knowledge I've been able to gain over the past X amount of years and be able to really speed up the process. So you're going to need a fair few bulks. So my mindset to you with this is an infinite game. This is not something you don't bulk once and you're done. I actually thought that the very first time I bulked, I thought, oh yeah, I'll bulk up to from like 69 kg. I was like, I'll bulk up to 80 and I'll be done. It's not the case. Really, really not the case. Unless you want to stay at that level of body fat, which more than likely you don't, because you're not going to build that much muscle versus the ratio of fat that's gone on as well. So you must understand that when you're going through these bulking phases, you're going to need to do this 2, 3, 4 times over until you're truly happy with how you look. To be honest though, I would just tell you to find fun in the pursuit of this. Building an aesthetic physique or building your body is a very good vessel for self-improvement, because you can see it tangibly that you are improving yourself, your muscles are actually getting bigger, and then the vessel that you're using is the aesthetic physique. What you're actually developing is your character, your ability to be disciplined, always going to the gym, saying no to food you shouldn't eat, saying no to things that are not going to be congruent with your goal, being consistent. People love consistent people. Like, maybe if you're a returning viewer of the channel, you like coming to the channel because I'm consistent. You know there's going to be a video from me each and every day, and I'm always going to give you advice on fitness and just speak about results we've got within the Gorilla Platoon. So you know what you get with me. You get a straight fringe and you get some real talk about fitness. People love consistency. If you can be a consistent person, your word actually means something. And lastly, it's going to make you resilient. It's going to mean that, like, I did that bulk, I cut back down, I'm not even that much bigger, we're going to have to go again. Even after all that work you did, you go again, and you go again. And to be fair, if you enjoy the gym, like, what else are you going to do? Like, of course you're going to be constantly cutting and bulking, and by the time you've done 3-4 bulks, you'll then just get to the point where you're perfecting weaker areas and really just sculpting that physique, but you walk around in this body for the rest of your life. I know a 70-year-old from when I was on a military contract, 2 years ago, ex-Royal Marine, obviously it was an ex-military contract, so ex-Royal Marine, around 70, big set of arms on him, grey hair, but like, look good. 70 years old, he might even have been older, but I'll say roughly he was around 70, looked the part, and I was like, if I look like that at 70, I'll be really fucking happy. And I'm 29 now, so that's in 40 years, can't even count his maths. Yeah, that's in 40 years, 41 years. If I look like that, and I'll have looked in good shape for that amount of time, I'll be very happy. Very, very happy. So this is an infinite game. You're going to be doing this forever anyway. The 4th point, and it comes to gym training. Building muscle, the way you build muscle is through this formula. You have mechanical tension, which has been put onto the muscle, times by intensity, how hard, times by volume, how often. What I'm saying by this is, do not go into the gym and just move loads from A to B, because you won't fully put the working muscle under stress. You're going to go in the gym, you're going to move the load, you're going to get globally tired, you're going to get fatigued, and you're going to burn calories. But there's a difference between that and trashing, bullying, abusing the working muscle to get it to grow. For the first 5 years of my training, I just globally moved loads from A to B. And I did powerlifting for a good bit of time because I was good at basically just moving a load from A to B, using all muscles at once. That's not the aim of the game here. The aim of the game is to put mechanical tension on the working muscle. So whenever you go into the gym, I don't want you to need to get out an anatomy book, but just think, where does the muscle start and where does it end? Because all I need to do is pull them apart and bring them back together under the load with the weight. So when you are in the gym, don't rush your reps. The reason why we say slow tempo, 3 seconds on the way down, is so you can execute that. Like, it's the difference between trying to sprint versus walk at a certain pace. Like, you're going to be more accurate when you do something slower than when you rush it. So Lift slowly, lift with intent, stretch and shorten the working muscle under load. Then make sure you train within a 1 to 2 to 0 reps in reserve. Do that twice per week to accrue enough volume for your weaker areas, and you're going to grow. But don't just move the load from A to B and expect it to grow, because it won't happen. I've literally felt the pain and the misery of this for many, many years until I started to understand it. But anatomy can absolutely help with this. Point number 5, bulking. Food is for performance. Food alone does not grow muscle. So the calorie surplus is not what grows the muscle. The calorie surplus drives you more energy. More energy equals more output on the gym floor, which then builds more muscle or breaks down more muscle. You then need to sleep so it can grow back better. But that's what your surplus is for. So we said earlier, if you're soft, get crispy, get lean. Then when you go into the building phase, be very select with how you increase your surplus. Only starting a 200 to 300 calorie surplus, which is coming from carbohydrates, to drive performance in the gym. If you are getting stronger, session after session after session, do not increase your surplus, because you're getting stronger. Fresh air isn't moving that new load. It's the muscle that you're developing that is. However, you will get to a sticking point where your numbers aren't going up anymore. You feel hungrier, and your scale weight may even be dipping. At that point, add more carbohydrates, go for 200 calories, 50 grams of carbohydrates around the workout first and foremost, but then you will get to the point where you're going to need to do first and last meals. That there is to drive more performance in the gym. It is not the surplus that builds the muscle, it's the surplus that supports your training. Too many times in the first 2 bulks, I just ate and ate and ate just to get myself to add more weight. We're not here to just put on body fat, we're here to grow solid muscle tissue. When it also comes to bulking, higher GI foods will help you. GI standing for glycemic index. So, if you are in a bulking phase, potatoes are not going to serve you, but rice will, and so will bread, because it digests a lot quicker. You can get more of it in. Bananas will serve you, but berries will not. Honey will serve you. Jam will serve you. Things that are high GI, things that digest very quickly. I'm not advocating that you just, although you will have seen it on a high carb day I've done, eat cereal, because you still want to eat whole food. You still want to eat real food. And that's another thing with the gaining phase. Don't just eat garbage. Like, you want to eat real foods, you want to eat foods that digest very quickly. So instead of oats, you may have to go to bread, you may have to go to cream of rice. Because ultimately, if it's too filling, you're not going to be able to get all of the food in. But on the flip side, it should have been a staircase approach anyway from the bottom out of your calorie deficit. Now, when it comes to cutting, the opposite. Volume is your friend, fiber is your friend. So instead of having protein shakes, have egg whites. Instead of having bananas, you're going to have berries. Instead of having rice, you're going to have rice and bread, you're going to have potatoes. More fiber. You're going to have plenty of vegetables, adds fiber. You're going to have oatmeal instead of cream of rices, because this is going to pack out the meal plan. We want as much volume for our calories in a dieting phase to help with satiety and overall adherence. Point number 8. I've never done this, but I'm going to comment on it anyway. Just stay off the anabolics. Unless you want to step on stage, then fine. Go and do that. Unless going on anabolics enhances you to step on stage, your career, or like because you have a medical issue, then fine, you have my blessing, go and do that. But if you just want to take it for the sake of getting gains quicker, which I can understand because fair play, you want to achieve something fast, good, but just stay off the anabolics. The trade-off is not worth your health. Now, if you're getting later on into your life and your test is not as high as it was in your 20s, do you know what? If you want to run TRT and keep your test levels at where they were in your 20s, I actually don't have a problem with that, because it's going to make your life a lot better in many other ways other than just your gym floor performance. And you could say it's your test levels were around here anyway. All you're doing is just bringing them back up to a healthy level. You're not putting them to like 2,000, so you're a superhuman. So stay off the anabolics. They're not worth the trade-off. They're not worth the impact to your health. You got into this game to feel fit and healthy. Anabolics aren't going to serve you for that. Like, it's ironic that you got into it for fitness and health, and now you end up taking some random drugs just to enhance it. So I've never done it. I never will. Stay off the anabolics. Unless you're older and you want to get your test levels back up, then fine. Fine. I can understand that. Ultimately, we're all on fucking dicks to work so we can keep producing and enjoy sex. So fine, do that if you need to do that. Number 9, cardio doesn't kill your gains, but the wrong type of cardio will accrue too much fatigue, which will impact gym floor performance, which could then kill gains. So I used to think this because I was in the army for many years and thought, cardio is what's killing my gains. Cardio is what's killing my gains. In hindsight, cardio was just driving me into either maintenance or a calorie deficit for too long. That's why I stayed too lean for too often, but was able to still get stronger. So in hindsight, I would have just eaten more to then make sure I was in a slight surplus. That said, the wrong style of training can end up killing your gains only because you've done, and it's mainly HIIT, it's mainly aggressive running, where you're just too fatigued. So when you are doing your gym floor stuff, your performance isn't there because of fatigue, not because of the cardio itself. So just be select with what type of cardio you're doing. Personally, I am in a cutting phase right now, so it's something that's non-impact. We're talking incline treadmill walk or the cross trainer. They're the two that work well for me. And then I also do 2 boxing sessions a week, sparring, which you could say that is a little bit higher, but even still, the impact, it's not really, it's impact to your face if you don't move out the way, but it's not like my joints aren't smashing against the floor like they would as if I was out running. And even then, you could do 1 run a week on a rest day if you absolutely love your running. But just be careful. It's not cardio that kills your gains. It's the type of cardio that you do that could through fatigue. Point number 10. Training is the most important factor for when it comes to building muscle, obviously. However, I think the second thing that's the most important behind that is your ability to sleep. Whether you're in a gaining phase, whether you're in a cutting phase, both of mission critical that you get 8 hours plus of sleep each and every night. Why? Well, let's take a gaining phase. If you want to grow, you need to sleep because you've gone into the gym, you've broken down muscle, you've dug the crater. If you don't fill that back in, if you don't reharvest the broken down muscle, it's not going to grow back stronger. And then you're going to go in again, break it down further and expect it to grow back when it's not, because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to essentially harvest, to re-sow the seeds of the breakdown that you've just given to yourself. So in a gaining phase, I'll always push like 8-9 hours sleep. I will solely sleep like an absolute baby so I can grow as much as possible. On the flip side, in a dieting phase, you finish a long day on a dieting phase, you've been in calorie deficit, you've done your steps, you've done your cardio, you've done your gym session, you've done your work, you're tired, you're fucked. I'm fucked anyway at the end of a dieting phase day. I'm ready for bed, so I'm also pushing 9 hours so I can recover from everything. But what it will also do in a cutting phase is it will manage fatigue. One of the biggest catalysts behind you not achieving the result is your ability to not manage fatigue. You get too burnt out, your gym floor performance suffers, you're tired and in a calorie deficit. You may as well dehydrate yourself just to really fucking put yourself in a bad way. So if you sleep very well in a dieting phase, you will keep cortisol low, you'll keep water weight off you, you'll keep your scale weight trend true to how you look, and it will also give you the tight and hard look. I cannot stress this enough. Like, you've heard it, oh yeah, sleep kind of important. I honestly think it's so underplayed. Like, sleep is mission critical. Before all your supplements, before like red light therapy and sauna and all that sort of stuff, the best thing you could ever do for recovery is to sleep. Get it, honestly, like most human beings, their problems could be solved if they just slept an extra hour. I cannot stress this enough. Like, it is a weapon that you really need to tap into. And then the final point number 11, and this is more of one that I've developed from coaching people and understanding them. Your own brain is the reason why you look like you do right now. And that may sound offensive, but it's not supposed to be. It's the fact that your thoughts have got you to where you are right now. So if you're not where you want to be, it's not a problem, but you need to readapt to new mindset in order to get to that physique. If you've always been 20% body fat, and there's always a reason why you couldn't have got down to 10, that's your limiting belief you've developed to defend your ego. Whereas you just adopted the mindset of someone at 10% body fat, lived like his lifestyle, you're going to end up at 10% body fat. Like, obviously. It's the same way that we all joined the British Parachute Regiment at 17. We adopted the mindset of a paratrooper, the one that was training us. We listened to everything he said. We didn't do anything outside that box. 6 months later, we're British paratroopers. It was obviously going to happen because we removed our old civilian mindset, copied his, and then we're able to achieve the result. If you're not where you want to be right now, honestly, your own mind is stopping you. It'll either stop you because you'll get from 20% down to 13, 12, and you'll be like, I'm kind of happy now. When you wanted 9, you wanted 8, you wanted to look very, very sharp. But your own brain was like, we'll just settle now. Or in a gaining phase, like, you'll be like, do you know what, like, Nah, do you know what? Yeah, I'm a bit soft and like I need to see my abs again, so I'm not going to push through these next 2 months of gaining, even though I'm right at the pinnacle point and I'm just about harvesting new numbers in the gym floor. Your own brain will stop you from doing this. I can't stress this enough. Like, just simply think of the person you need to become and act in congruent with his lifestyle on a day-to-day basis and turn your brain off until you've achieved that goal. That alone, if you do that, you will get many, many results. But too many people like to think of things, like to throw their own thing in there, come up with good ideas. It is a simple game to get in shape. It is absolutely a simple game. I've helped 60 people get in good shape. I'm no brain surgeon, but I can understand this. It is you and your own brain that will stop you from getting there. Fitness is more mindset and psychological than it is about data, calories, and lifting weights in the gym. Because if it was, everybody would be in shape. Everyone would have a six-pack. The knowledge is out there. ChatGPT will tell you right now how to get in shape at the click of a finger. But you still see it. Most people are out of shape because that's not their issue. Their issue is application that comes from their mindset and their habits. Fix those first, you have the physique. So that is 10 years worth of advice I've discovered. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you found it insightful. If you did, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to come and join us in the Gorilla Platoon, there'll be a link in the description. Click the link, go through, watch the video. If we're for you, come and join us and I'll see you on the inside.